Now we're going to take and duplicate this side. We need to have a left and a right side, and we don't want to have to redraw all that again. So I'm going to triple click on this piece. Then I'm going to right click with my mouse and hit make a component. I'm going to call this case side. Now that piece is its own component, and for whatever reason my computer froze there for a moment. This is all one piece. So if I have to go back and fix something, I can't just take and pull anything out because it's a component now. Now if I want to edit something, let's say I got a dimension wrong, I have to triple click on it or double click on it until we're in this active view, and then I can edit it. So if you don't see this box around it, this dotted line box, and everything else goes gray, then you're not actually editing it. And if I would draw on top of it, say I draw a rectangle here, those are separate pieces. So you can see if I click on this, it does not select that rectangle. I'm going to hit Control Z to get rid of that rectangle because we don't want it. So I'm going to make a copy of this. To do that, we have a few options. The easiest way to do it is kind of orbit up here. Remember, again, you orbit by clicking down on the center button of your mouse. You're going to grab the Move tool, and you're going to hold down Control. When I hover over this, you'll see when I hold down Control, I get the plus sign by my cursor, and I can just click and drag, and it's going to make another one. Now, the only issue here, I'll zoom out so we can see this. The only issue is that they are exactly the same thing. So if I would cut this out with the router, I would have two of those are left sides. So to switch that around, I click on this and I hit flip along, and I never seem to be able to get this right, but there's three ways we can flip it. I'm just going to guess it's the green one. See how that just turned it upside down? So I'm going to Control Z, undo that. Let's flip along the blue axis. That just turned it over, so I am not doing very well here. There we go. We'll flip along the red, and now I get a right side and a left side. So think of this as the back cover of the book, and this as the inside cover of the book. Now we have two components that are exactly mirror images of each other. Before we go any further, I zoomed in too far, and I got on that guy. I'm actually going to erase this guy now because he's going to get in the way eventually. Just clicked on him and hit delete. Now, before we go any further, I always like to pull a dimension on here. You can use the tape measure for dimensions, and all that will do is display the measurement in the bottom right corner of the screen. Or if you use the dimension tool, the dimensions will stick around until you delete them. So that's still 28 inches, and that's still 11 3/4. So we're all good to go with those two pieces. The last thing that I'm going to draw, because we can get the CNC router to cut this out pretty easily, is that bottom shelf. So the bottom shelf, let's go back here. Here's my case cutlass. So we just drew out my sides that are 11 3/4 by 28. Now I can do my bottom shelf, which is 11 3/8 by 13 7/8. Important thing here is that the grain of the wood is going the right direction. So here's the shelves again, 11 3/8 by 13 7/8. We need that grain to be going up and down. So I'm going to go back to here, 11 3/8 by 13 7. Oh, wrong one. And I'm actually going to move this so it's in line. Actually, we don't have to move that. We're just fine with it. Where is that? Oops. Hit escape to deselect it. Now I'm going to draw my new rectangle. 11 3/8, comma 13.875 is 13 7/8. For whatever reason, that didn't look like it did it quite right. Yeah, that's too long. So if I get it wrong, and that noise you're hearing is my phone ringing in the background. So I'm just going to erase this and try drawing again. I'm showing my age here. I already forgot how big it's supposed to be. 11 3/8 by 13 7/8. There we go. We can rotate this later, but the grain on the sides is going up and down, and this should also be going up and down. Just something to be aware of when we bring it into Google Sketch, when we bring it into VCarve. I have to give it thickness, 0.75, and that's all I need to do for my top shelf. There's also two other pieces that we're going to try to cut out on the CNC router. They might be a little bit small, but we're going to do our best. I'm going to make this a component while we're at it. When we import these into VCarve, which is the program that controls the CNC router, they always work better if they're made components. Call that a shelf. I'm just going to move this down a little closer. Helps me keep things organized. And there's two more pieces I need to draw. They're called my stringers, and these are really simple to cut out by hand. So if you don't have a chance to do it on SketchUp, it's not that big a deal. So to do that, I'm going to draw a line, trying to get this there. If you double click, it'll draw a line there. Draw a line there. It's important that these stringers are the same length as my shelves. So I just clicked on the edges of those, just giving them a little bit of space. Now I can type in 2 inches. I'm going to put 2 inches of space in between them and draw another one. We're going to use these to hold our top down toward the case of our project. You grab the push pull tool. I can even just pull them the same. I'll delete all these guidelines to clean this up. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to hit save. Sometimes it takes a second. There we go. It's fighting it. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hold down Shift to select both of these and make these a component called stringers. Now we have all the pieces that we're going to bring to the CNC router. So I'm going to ask you to save it again and download it. I'm going to it'll call itself Nightstand 1 because I've already downloaded it in the previous video. But let's pretend we're all done with this. We want to download the final file, and we're going to put this file into our network drive. Accidentally clicked on opening that up, but remember to get to our network drive. We're going here to your network folder, and we're dropping this in. I'm going to erase this one. I did this one this morning for the first couple of videos. And there we got the Nightstand saved on my network drive. If you haven't seen the other video, to get here, you click on this PC, get on your name, and I have a lot of stuff on my network drive. I go to Woods 1, made one that said Nightstand, and it's saved right there. So that's a downloaded copy, which you'll need to bring into VCarve. And I'm going to save this one last time on the web-based version, and then we're all done with the web-based version.